which would be about 2010 to the equivalent of SL. I mean, if I had to put a measure on it. Only because you got 4 developers versus a corporation.
Go ahead, Cynthia, try again, please.
Yeah, but you know what? It didn't stop us. After 4 days, we were hooked.
Try again, please.
Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear, because InWorlds is a great concept. It really is.
Elenia, everything about it hooked us. We just love that there's more opportunity for us there to create, to live, to be able to afford to buy our own Sims.
You couldn't resist our charm in there.
That and the sailing, yes.
Oh, I have to say, I'm sorry, I have to. Is that how you pronounce your name, Zoo? Zio, okay.
Zhu, close enough.
Zhu, okay, I could do that. Zhu. I have to agree with you. One of the coolest things I thought about when I got to InWorlds was there wasn't like some grid where people buy their lands, right, and they block them off and they put up all the security. First of all, security is the stupidest thing I've ever seen on any world. If somebody wants to get to you, they can, okay? But the best part was somebody said, you want to take a sailboat ride? And I got on his yacht, and we were able to sail the entire effing grid. It was amazing. The entire grid is wide open to everybody. If you want to sail, sail. Sure, certain people will put things out on their land where it blocks the boats from passing, but I don't think that's intentional. That's just them not thinking about it. And all the residents actually enjoy people coming and going on their boats. It's such a wonderful place.
Well, we've just recently joined the Magellan group, and we're buying 3 Sims as of Tuesday, and we're so excited about sharing our sailing with everyone.
Yes, you're right. Coyote is, I'm assuming that's how I say it. That is what you could first do. However, I want to reiterate something I said from the very beginning about SL and Linen Labs. They never once said this was not a money-making venture. It is. It's a huge corporation where InWorlds is not. InWorlds is a fistful of developers that work round the clock to give you a place to go to do pretty much what you do on this grid, but a little bit more. And they're not looking for your money. They're not. And again, I'm not trying to sell SL versus InWorlds. That's not the case. Guys, you guys are gamers. And if you're able to be here, I'm looking around right now with the new server-side baking code. You're all able to be here. You can certainly play in InWorlds too. And it's your right as a gamer to be in more than one place. It's not us, we, them. It's connect the worlds. This is one of the things I love about the InWorlds SL Connection Center and the radio tower and all of that, is that I can still come back to a place that I love, where I learned Virtual Worlds SL, and still be a part of another one too, and expand myself a little and experience new things and be refreshed, and it's a great thing.
Yes, thank you, Kalle. And that's one of the ideas with our centers, since we have friends on both sides in both grids, and we want to keep the connection between them. That's what we're trying to do, and we have Kalle here each weekend to DJ from our IRT InWorlds radio tower that we broadcast both in InWorlds and in Second Life here. So our friends can hear us on both sides.
Hold up a second there. Jen, you said something about no us and them, it's all US. Yes, the companies are United States. However, one of the things that I've noticed when I was here in SL, and I've noticed in InWorlds also, there are many people from other countries that have come in and put great investment into these games. what I found was unique and interesting about Second Life first, and now in InWorlds, is these places allow us from around the world to make a smaller world, be in communication with each other and work with each other and learn about each other as just people. It's actually been very beneficial from my standpoint. And there have been amazing contributions to both worlds from people who are not in the United States at all. I see it as SL got built on our backs. Second Life got built from the inside up from those of us who play the game. And I see us as being welcomed into InWorlds, and to allowed to do just that, is to help them build their grid from a gaming standpoint, and put our creations into their world there. And it's welcomed, it's wanted, it's supported, and it's very unique in that stance, because we do have the communications with the company people themselves, which we don't have with Linden Labs here. Linden Labs, like everybody has said, has become a corporation, and I don't even have the communication with Linden Labs here that I have with the Blizzard gaming masters and things. So, but we're the ones that's created these grids from the inside. You know, we're the ones that made the look. We're the ones that make our Sims. We decorate our Sims. We put all of our pixels together the way that we do. And that comes from people all over the world that come in and play these games. And it's very amazing to see the things that get built. One of the first places in SL that I went to was Germany, and the second place I found was Japan. I loved it. I have never been able to, be out of the United States, so being able to go to other countries in here has been a great experience.
One of the biggest things that I found as a person, as a stay-at-home mom, after many years of having multiple careers and lives and jobs and all of that, the thing I loved about SL the most was that I could meet people from all over the world and learn how to be creative from an edge where I was a creative person in my life. That means to me that I should be able to grid hop. I also learned a lot about computers. Everyone should be allowed to grid hop. It's your right to be able to play multiple games. No one should tell you that you can't. If they kind of stop you with the TOS, I'm sorry to hear about that. I truly am, because I will never dog SL. I love SL. But if they stopped you through a TOS to export and import things, then start anew. Guys, it's called an experience. And InWorlds has been put together very well. There are some glitches, most certainly, and you can ask anyone on the mentor team to help you with computer compatibility, settings, etc. to make it better. But there's no reason why you can't come over there and have some fun as well and play both games.
Hello? Can you not hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Going back to the circa 2000, InWorld is SL circa 2006 to 2011. I have to admit, I try my best to be non-biased when it comes to SL and InWorld, but I do find myself comparing when I'm in InWorlds to SL, if you know what I mean. Morris can vouch for this completely, but when I found out about your prim limit, I was really shocked. I think at one point we came across a store that was 2,000 Izzies a month for more prims than we pay for our store in SL, and we're looking for a place in Wales to do that. In terms of progression, I have to admit that I'm blown away by what Inwells has been doing. You guys are 4 years old, and your technology is a lot more advanced. It's not as it's. I mean, SL got mesh last year, beginning of last year. You guys have mesh now, basically. So we had to wait however long to get mesh. After hearing about mesh for so long, it took us ages to get it in SL. While in InWorld, you got it almost immediately, if you know what I mean.
Well, I can't speak for the founders, and if you had something that where you found a land that was absorbent fee for equal amount of prims, I've never seen it. Never, not once. It's half of what it is in SL. Cost for prims. It's well more than that. In terms of mesh, the only thing I can do is speak to that in terms of my take as a gamer. Again, Linen is a corporation. I won't dog them. It's not going to happen. You will never come from my lips. Love SL, but it is a corporation and a money-making venture. Where InWorlds is a place for people to come and be creative and do things that they want to do and that they want to try. And the developers for InWorlds are equally as good, if not better, because I feel at this point Linen Labs has lost touch with the consumer, the people that are playing, and what their needs are. I feel that.
Yes, and to shoot in there, in InWorlds we have like Elena here that's active InWorlds and experience the same things that we are doing, and we can talk with her directly, because she has her times at IDE where you can meet her and ask questions and if you have any problems, and they listen to you and try to fix it as fast as possible. And I admire them for the work they have put in with the small resources that they got compared with the Second Life. I'm amazed how good things are working in InWorlds.
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded. It's a very stable grid, extremely stable grid.
Can I ask you a question? In terms of I know you guys are sitting up there and you're basically saying we don't like saying us and them. Do you come across people, because I've come across people in Second Life and in InWorlds who just don't like each other or don't like the grid. We've met people who have been in Second Life and gone over to InWorlds and they just hate it. Have you ever come across people who have just blatantly said, oh, you guys are doing a great job, but Second Life is this and this, and in Second Life, have you come across people who say, or in InWorlds, have you come across people who say, oh man, I hate Second Life, the Lindens are rubbish, and that kind of stuff?
If I may answer that on voice, I would like to. I spent a lot of time at IDI, which is the welcome center for InWorlds. In fact, I choose to spend a lot of my time there. I really like it because I want to help. With all my knowledge after 7 years in SL, I really like to be there. And what I come across mostly is people coming over from SL, again, with what I said earlier, the TOS, the server-side baking code, where a lot of people can't see the grid anymore, their computers can't handle it, etc. They just want to plug it and play, which is great. You know, I mean, I think people should be more responsible as virtual gamers to make sure their computers are updated, but I know that a lot of people can't, so they're pissed off at Linen Labs right now. but a lot of people are influxing and coming over. What I'm hearing most is bitterness. When people from SL come over to InWorlds, they're very angry at the virtual games on a whole, which isn't very fair, because there is no server-side assist. There is no code here that will stop any viewer you choose to use. Again, free uploads, free group creating. It's a great place. Yeah, there's a lot of bitterness, and there's actually griefing going on now. Not a whole lot of it. Not like what you see in SL since the open of the teen grid. That's been a big issue here in SL. I come back and forth every now and then, and all I see is a lot of hatred and a lot of violence and just really bad stuff because they opened the teen grid. I still think SL is a great place. But you're not going to find that on a whole over in InWorlds because the founders and the residents control that. We control that. We don't want this to turn into a hateful place in InWorlds, if that answers your question.
Kelly, I have a flip side of that also. Storm, I've had a few experiences with residents over in InWorlds that have chosen to make InWorlds their primary place. And they were not very comfortable with the fact that I continued to come back and forth between the two grids. Those are personal opinions. They are not what is reflected by the founders and what the founders stand for, as far as I understand, Elenia. What I have experienced some negative feedback because I continue to go back and forth between SL and InWorlds. My point as a person is I'm a gamer and I pay for my games, so I choose to be where I want to play my games. No person has the right to tell me where to do that or what to do with that. And I'm sorry that there are some people who represent themselves as being the official InWorlds attitude. I have run into that. As well as I've run into that here in Second Life as well, of being very Second Life as opposed to any open grid. So I think it's a personal opinion, and people express their personal opinions very loudly sometimes, and they express them in such a way that makes it sound like it's an official standing, but it is not. It's not the mentality of the grid itself. It's just an individual mentality.
And again, no one has the right to tell you what she said, what Zia said. No one has the right to tell you where you can play or you can't play. And guys, I get the fact that you've invested a lot in SL. You probably have a lot of, USD or whatever your money exchange is invested in the world here. And no one's telling you to pack up and leave. No one's saying that. But why not satellite branch out to new worlds? Because InWorlds is doing very well, and it's run very well. It's put together very well. Why not expand your game? Put things out there for people on multiple grids. It's a good thing, not a bad thing.
One of the things that I want to add to what she's saying is, okay, one of the main pieces of this was to allow those of you who have not experienced InWorlds, because InWorlds has developed itself enough to be able to support your businesses in the way that you're familiar with how you create things. InWorlds would love to have your businesses come over and put a satellite store there and help build the economy over there, as well as bring items to the InWorlds residents that they have actually said over and over again, oh, I wish so-and-so was here. Oh, I wish so-and-so was there. Several of the creators from here have already transported, like Redgraves and Pulse. They've put some things over. They have satellite stores there. It's one of those things where if you're a business owner, it just makes good sense, especially if you're a business owner within a virtual platform. So we're here answering questions because there have been many of you who have been interested in going over there, but you don't, I guess on a basis level, you have questions of actual exporting, what you can do, what you can't do, how to share both sides, you know, those kinds of pieces. But the reality is, we're here to say you would be welcome over there. The avatar builders, there have been many in the furry community as well as the RP community that have desperately wanted better avatars, people who know how to create avatars.
Not to mention, guys, home builders.
And home builders.
There's
true.
maybe like a fistful of builders over there right now that are, I would have to actually say 3, that are really worth a salt. But if you're doing sculpt and mesh building on homes, nothing should stop you at the rates that are over there to buy a sim and set down grandfather law to come over and put out your builds. I mean, I would love to see more of the people that I used to love touring homes here. I'm a builder myself. I was never that good, but you know, if you're a builder of that kind of thing, come on over. Nothing stops you from laying down your business and coming back to SL and playing with your friends, etc. in this game. That's perfectly great. Although, may I say one thing? I helped create a sim. It was a town with shops and homes, etc. And what we wound up dealing with was a lot of trial and leave. They dropped their stuff, said, I'm not going to advertise myself the way that you would here, the way all of you would here. They didn't want to put the effort in, and they just left it to the sim owners to do this when you weren't going to come back. Guys, just, you know, try if you want to expand and satellite your products. Put the time in a little bit. Make sure that you're accessible so that InWorlds is reputable. And I want to add one more thing. We're not begging you to come to InWorlds, because InWorlds is going to flourish regardless. It's a great sim, it's a great grid, it's a great product, and it's growing every day. We're just trying to simply invite you and say, don't be afraid to cross grids and play more than one game.
Yeah, I can shoot in to answer your question. Yes, there is on both sides, both in InWorlds and in Second Life, people that for some strange reason have aggression and anger to each other, and most of the people have not even been on either side to see what it's all about. And that's the thing we are trying to work against and build bridges between the worlds, because we are the same person when we are in Second Life as we are in Worlds, and we are in both places. I have my stuff I have spent years to build in Second Life, and I love those stuff here, so I have my stuff still here. And I'm now building in Worlds too, and meeting the people there, and try to get the friends be on both sides, so we can have fun together, because that's what this is all about. We're having fun together. That's how I see it anyway.
And the bottom line again, guys, is you can come over to InWorlds, and I don't know if it'll last forever. I think the founders had a concept about free uploads, free groups, etc. I still, again, what I said earlier was I felt like when I'm living in SL, I'm living in the city, big contemporary, everything going on, at least for now, because quite frankly, InWorlds is building very quickly. But when I go to InWorlds, I feel like, okay, deep giant breath from the business, from how hard I have to work to make $1, from how hard I have to work to produce product. And I'm going to go to my country home now, and I'm going to work on honing my craft, the things I like to build, having a nice conversation, because the uploads are free, because you can learn how to build or try your hand at it if you never tried before. But they are equivalent grids. They are a derivative of the same source. Pardon me, Alenia, if I'm downsizing InWorlds Grid, but they are from the same source to the best of my knowledge. It's not a lot different, guys, and everybody over there is very helpful and friendly and it's a great place to go and be creative.
I've got one more question. What is your opinion on SL's new TOS, and how do you think it's going to affect InWorlds? And are you afraid that you're going to get the undesirables that are currently in SL? Because a lot of content creators have basically straight up said that they're going to leave Second Life and find another grid. And
Well,
InWorlds
I'm
the
sure
second.
I'm sure Eleni is already answering that and type madly. I'm certain of it, as well as other people. I can tell you as a grid hopper and a sim hopper and all that, some griefers and some crazy people are already showing up because they don't want to deal with the TOS or the graphics necessity to be in SL at this point. But I can tell you that all of the residents there, all the business owners, the mentor team, everybody, we stop it in their tracks. In their tracks. We don't like it. No one's going to have it. It's just not going to happen. You're safe in InWorlds for the most part.
Yeah. And what's your opinion on the TOS, and how do you think it will affect InWorlds?
Well, I can say it like this, that it has increased the traffic over to InWorlds. That's for sure. And the thing is that the most people that comes over is creators and very creative people, and they don't cause any problems in any worlds. They just want to build and create the stuff, and since it's more safe to do it in worlds where you don't get interrupted in the same way as in here. That's a perfect place for creators and merchants, and also the market we have seen that the market has grown tremendously the last 6 months in InWorlds. So if you're a creator, you're really going to get your money back on the things you have put in if you do it in there. That's for sure. We're waiting on you, Nadia.
I have I have something to say. Rita has brought something up, Rita Mariner, and that seems to be the consensus with what people are continuously hearing, is that what you feel is pressured to leave everything in SL and come to InWorlds, and that's not what any of us have been saying at all. We're saying we're inviting you to come to InWorlds, explore it a little bit as part of your gaming experience, and maybe include InWorlds as a satellite store or something for your business. Many people are here in SL and very established here and have very solid businesses going on here in SL. We're not here to, what is that called? Recruit at all. We're just here to answer the questions because InWorlds has become such a huge, I guess, part of the rumor mill lately here in SL, as well as crossing the grid